We all asked for a new Robert Eggers movie to come, and come it did. And the new adaptation of the gothic horror classic Nosferatu hit us like a storm, or shall I say the plug. In this video, I want to explore how through creating a charming and gothic aesthetic, the symbolism and the costume design have explored themes such as women's desire, female hysteria, and place of women in the society. Nosferatu is a remake of the original vampire movie and the German expressionist classic of the same name that was filmed in 1922. It became classic because of its director, Friedrich Murnau, who used very innovative filmmaking techniques for its time. New movie director Robert Eggers, who has previously worked on The Witch and The Lighthouse, has been strongly inspired by the aesthetic of the Murnau's original and also incorporated the shadow and light effects that echo the original iconic imagery of German expressionism. For example, the techniques of shadow and light that both of the movies are using to translate the eeriness that Orlok brings to the function is achieved by not showing him at first at all, but only through his shadow and presence in the dark. In his adaptation, Eggers focuses on the psychological aspect of the Gothic romance and uses Orlok's character to represent the darkest desire of Ellen. When it comes to costumes in Nosferatu, they are just phenomenal. So the events in the movie are taking place in Germany in 1838, which makes it a romantic era in terms of fashion. After the Regency era, with its loose-fitting dresses and high waists, the Romantic era reintroduced small, accentuated waists, bringing back corsets. We see barrette and gigot sleeves of the 1830s and many of Ellen's and Anna's outfits. Nosferatu draws a parallel between Ellen and her best friend Anna, making some concrete social commentary on the role of women in society, female hysteria, and social status. Anna, as a wealthy wife, embodies a picture of a perfect wife of the time. Wrapped in lace and luxury, adored by her husband, a woman who has fulfilled her expected role and is rewarded for it. Anna's outfits are louche, made of expensive fabrics and accompanied by layers of accessories, emphasizing her wealth. In contrast, Ellen's wardrobe is way simpler, but also comes in darker tones. Ellen doesn't wear that many accessories, and she wears silver and not gold. Also, her wardrobe is focused on practicality. For example, when we see Ellen having seizures, they put a corset on her and it's a self-tying one, which is a nice detail there in costumes, which shows that Ellen wouldn't have servants to help her dress, unlike Anna. Overall, the costumes of Anna and Ellen pretty much highlight their social class and status as women in the pre-Victorian society. Count Orlok costumes are historically grounded, adding to the film's realism. He wears clothes of some Transylvanian Hungarian count from the time he was young, so approximately 300 years ago. His long coat echoes the Max Schreck's vampire silhouette, but departs from the classic Dracula cape. His extended sleeves highlight his noble status, while his oversized Kalpak hat, once a useful style, now conceals the horrors of being 300 years old. And another highlight of the movie costumes for me was the Romani people that Thomas Hatter encounters in Transylvania, as it's one of the films that doesn't portray Romani people in the costumes that would rather be accurate as Halloween costume in America, but has this more authentic and real feel to it. As a costume designer says, we aimed for authenticity by reflecting how a nomadic group might accumulate and adapt pieces over time, rather than leaning into more modern, popularized interpretations. Hopefully, audiences find it beautiful, not because the costumes are flashy or overly designed, but because they serve the story and feel integral to the world. Yes, girl, we definitely did appreciate that. The costumes have fueled numerous TikTok cosplays videos, adding to the film's gothic aesthetic popularity. But it's not just the costumes. The film has many references to occultism, folklore, and religion, making symbolism a key storytelling techniques used by Eggers. Similar to 1922 Nosferatu inspired by the horrors of World War I, the movie reflects the mass deaths, disease, and rat-infested trenches, mirroring Count Orlok's impact on the town. Even though there is a lot of occult and symbolic references in the movie, for example, like the naked virgin on the horse who's supposed to stumble upon vampire's grave, I want to focus on the ones that symbolize and somehow related to connection between Ellen and Orlick. One of such symbols between them are lilacs. As lilacs are native to the Eastern Europe, it would make sense that they somehow related to the Orlick's past. And throughout the movie, we see lilacs coming up several times. For example, when Ellen has a dream of her wedding with Orlick, she says that there is a smell of lilacs in the air. And then she's wearing white lilacs in her hair when she sacrifices herself to Orlick. In Victorian times, lilacs symbolized love and remembrance, making it even more tragic when Thomas gives them to Ellen before leaving for Romania. But they also have a deeper, more spiritual meaning: exorcism, protection, and purification from evil. In the final scene, Professor von Franz places lilacs over Orlick's and Ellen's bodies. I think lilacs don't just symbolize the grief of Thomas for Ellen and for both of their lost first love. I think it's also a symbol of Ellen's dying young and her sacrifice, and as a whole tragedy of Nosferatu. Speaking of the final scene, it's very symbolic, inspired by Gothic art and the painting Death and the Maiden. In the painting, a pretty young woman, innocent, probably a virgin, is seduced by Death in the shape of monstrous old men, sometimes with horns, sometimes just a skeleton. It's an image that captures all the opposites that exist. This painting theme was a common trope in the German bubonic plague era, and the scene is a clear reference to it. It represents the connection that Ellen and Orlick have, exploration of intrinsic relationship of desire and mortality in a grotesque yet very compelling manner. I think also le petit mort is a phrase that comes to mind. I think you will know what I mean if you saw the movie. A woman has to live her life or live to repent not having lived it. In the end, I think the main message of Nosferatu when it comes to women's desire and the pressure that society puts on women is shown throughout Ellen's choice to be defeated by Orlick, as by doing so, she chooses to reclaim her own body and her own destiny, even by putting her own life in danger. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you will come back to my next one. And if you liked it, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye!